My team telling us it's 26 after 11. I believe there has been a development at Wits. Let's go back there. There's been protests there the past few days. Here is the SRC. I imagine at this point the meeting has happened with the Vice-Chancellor. Here's the feedback. Let's take you live to Wits.
Science, both of us. That student was from eNCA. When he entered to Wits, he was supposed to code the program, but he did not know how to switch on the computer. I had to assist the student to switch on the computer. So students do not choose to fail. And as an SRC, when we are saying all eligible students, these students can be readmitted, but the university is declining access because they are saying they do not have money. Wits University says 94% of their students have been registered. If that is true, then why are they deploying over 500 bouncers in their university? If that is, if only the 4% needs to register, Wits has the money to accommodate them. Wits last year was doing a centenary campaign, and it has raised 2.7 billion. Shirona Patel is right to say I'm a council member, and as a council member, I'm privy to this information. Hence, the students are this frustrated to say the university has money. The university has done this before. During the years of Adam Habib, the university was able to say students who are owing less than 120K must register. So it's something which is feasible, it's something which is not far-fetched, and it's something which is genuine. And as an SRC, we'll continue to fight that cause. Now on the issue of NFSAS. NFSAS said to us, accommodation will be kept at 45,000. So with NFSAS, NFSAS operates in two ways. There is private accommodation, which is not Wits building, and there is Wits campuses buildings. For the past years, accommodation was 45,000 for all those private accommodations. So our issue is, we said to Wits University, an accommodation cost us 60,000 roughly here in Johannesburg. If you can go to Joburg, to Cape Town, everywhere, a bed to sleep costs 60,000 and above. But you have signed lease with these service providers to say you will only pay 45,000, the rest is on the student. So that's the issue we are having as SRC. We are saying if NFSAS is providing 45,000 for a bed, then a student must pay 45,000. You cannot expect an NFSAS student to pay more than what NFSAS is giving. The balance must be catered by the university, because it is the university that signs deals with these service providers to say, NFSAS is very clear. NFSAS says we are giving you 45,000, so you must find accommodation that charges 45,000. The university enter negotiations with these businesses and say, charge students 60,000. They will pay, and students don't have the money. For you, the criteria for NFSAS, there are three criteria for you to be eligible for NFSAS. Firstly, you must be a SASSA beneficiary. Secondly, your household income must be less than 350K. Thirdly, if you are disabled, then it means your household income must be less than 600,000. So let's take a case of a student who's a SASSA beneficiary, who comes to Wits. A SASSA beneficiary comes to Wits, and accommodation costs 80,000. NFSAS only pays 45,000. They are saying that student who's a SASSA beneficiary must cover the balance. And there is no way that a student who's a SASSA beneficiary can have 35,000 in January to cover the balance. We are saying Wits must absorb the debt. And we've been speaking with the Vice-Chancellor. The Vice-Chancellor verbally agreed to us and said, no, the deficit is 84 million for our campuses. We will absorb the debt. I said, VC, give us something in writing, because we know if you just verbally agree, come the end of the year, students will be owing 40,000, 50,000 because of that deficit. And they won't be able to register next year because your policy says students who are owing less than 10,000 must register. So all these first years which came to Wits, who passed very well, they're into accommodations which cost 80,000, and NFSAS is paying 45,000. So the remainder of that money must be paid by them. That's our fight. We are saying Wits must absorb that remained. If accommodation cost 45,000, a student must pay 45,000. A student must not be expected to pay more than that, because that student is an NSFAS student who comes from a poor background. Secondly, we said to Wits University, please release allowances. Please release allowances. Students came here roughly, academic year was supposed to start on the 21st of February. Students came here a week before that. Till today, some of them have not received their allowances. And I do not know how does Wits University expect a student to live and survive while the allowance is not yet received. That's the issue we are facing. And we've been saying this to the university since last year. These are not new talks. And as I've said, as student leaders, we are never violent. We are not violent. We engage up until engagement is exhausted. And from the point where we are standing in, engagement has been exhausted. Wits University does not want to reply to our demands. Hence, we have took the route of taking it to the street. Hence, we have said we will shut down the campus up until those demands are met. And it is not us, the SRC, who said that. It is students who are saying, I don't have a place to sleep. Next year, I'll be expected to pass very well. But how do you pass very well you don't have a place to sleep? Hence, as an SRC, we are saying, give us 1,000 more beds. Wits has given us 500 beds, and we appreciate that. But the number of students who have come to our offices exceeds that number, and we cannot leave those students behind. In my office right now, there are 2 students who are sleeping there. I have sacrificed my room for a student. I sleep with a friend. These students who you see protesting, these are the SRC members, it's 22 of us. And all of us have accommodation. All of us have graduated. So this is not a personal thing. These are students raising their genuine concern. And us as an SRC, we have no choice, but we are obliged to say no student must be left behind. We said to Wits University, one of our demands, the 10K upfront payment must be waived. And Wits University said to us, no, but there is hardship fund that covers that. And with the hardship fund that the university gives, it's only 500,000 which assists those students with the 10K. So if you divide 500,000 with 10,000, it's only 50 students who are assisted by the fund. And we are saying as an SRC, waiver that fee, put it into our student statement. We don't have it now. We will pay it later. Same as registration. For you to register at Wits, you must pay 10,000 upfront. There is an option to waiver it. So that's what we've been saying to management. Waiver it. We are not saying scrap it, waiver it. And it has been done the previous years. I don't know what's wrong with this current administration. And the issue which we are having, if you can see in our protest, you see black students who are suffering. And one thing that agitates us as an SRC is black incompetence. We cannot have a chair of council who is black. We cannot have the vice chancellor who is black. We cannot have Judith Lamini is black, the chancellor. The CFO, Maureen Manyama, is black, but black people are struggling. Wits historically is a racial university, which for the past 100 years have been excluding black students. And now Wits has turned 101 years. As an SRC, we have said, this is a century of inclusion. Black students must be accommodated at Wits, and black students will be accommodated at Wits. That is the hill as an SRC we are willing to die to. The issue of hardship accommodation. Wits, yes, it provides hardship accommodation, but it is only for 270 students. Hence, we are saying extend the hardship accommodation, give us more money, because there are more students who need this money. And Wits management has been saying no. there is no compromise. Everything which we raise, and the cases which we are raising are cases which are based from precedents. This has happened before. Please do it again. There is really something wrong at Wits University. We have the member of NEHAW here. Black workers are struggling in the university. And we are saying, up until the university is student-friendly, up until the university is workers-friendly, we will render it ungovernable. I want to say that at 1 o'clock, the Vice-Chancellor requested us for a meeting. And at 1 o'clock, we are meeting the Vice-Chancellor. And if these demands are not met, we will continue to shut down the university. We are resolute on that. Yesterday, we were supposed to meet the Vice-Chancellor, and I want to tell the members of media what happened. We were on the ground before you were chased out, and we went to meet the Vice-Chancellor. On our way to the meeting, we received a letter from ENS, which is the litigation company that Wits uses. So Wits University has sued the SRC, and we have handed over the matter to our lawyers. So it shows that there is arrogance from the management. How do you demand a meeting with students, then threaten them with a letter of suing? The Vice-Chancellor has suspended one of the SRC members. And as an SRC, we consider those suspensions null and void up until our issues are answered. Before I close, I want to close with a quote to all students in South Africa and to Wits management, to government, that says, there is no point in thinking that everything is going to stop. When the SRC is suspended, arrested. When the SRC is suspended or arrested. Because these are not Apio Mnyamana's demand. And these are not the SRC demands. These are the students' demands. Wits University may suspend me, the country, the government may arrest me, but they won't stop the call of free education. Our struggle is of free education. If we have free education, then these problems ngabaziko. And free education was promised to us by the ruling party. Hence, we're very frustrated to see the SG of a ruling party throwing reckless statements. It makes us wonder, who are these people who are leading the ANC? How can you be a liberation movement and take the side of an oppressor? I think I will end it there.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'd also like to thank the South African Youth Economic Council for joining us today. We also have NEHAW, which joined the protest yesterday, and their sister unions will also be joining the protest from Monday. So over here, we are joined by Mr. Thabo Modise, who is the Secretary of the Wits eNCA NEHAW branch. Over to you, sir.
Manda.
How are you?
Greetings, comrades. Good morning. I come from a branch which is called eNCA. eNCA was one of the workers at Wits University. eNCA is one of the founding members of NEHAW, which is now a national union. So there's a serious link between Wits and NEHAW. Right, comrade, would like first to start by setting the record straight about what transpired yesterday, because there were a lot of incorrect statements which were released yesterday, and some of them were very shocking. We are a recognized union at Wits University. Actually, we are the only recognized union, if I have to be politically correct. Then we have a staff association as well for academics. We had an official event planned for yesterday. And yesterday morning, Wits University management called us to a meeting, raising concerns that our event might be hijacked by students because of what's happening. We said, okay, fine. Let's assume it will happen. How about you allow us to use the Revolutionary House, which is called Solomon Mahlangu House, as staff members then? So if you want to separate us from students, the answer was no. We said, okay, fine. This is very funny actually. At Wits, we have all these buildings which are named after our former leaders. We have Solomon Mahlangu House, we have Robert Sibuka building. But during such times, we can't access those buildings. And this is the time where, a building like Solomon Mahlangu House, should be seen as a building that's hosting such events, because we are very much attached to such names, but we are not allowed to enter those kind of spaces during such times, which is like, it's a serious contradiction. But anyway, so comrades, workers and students at Wits, we also have a serious relationship with the students because apart from the SRC, SASCO itself, and ANC Youth League are also our alliance partners because now we are affiliates of COSATU, which is part of the the Tripartite Alliance. So whenever we have an event, we are not surprised when students come and support us. Whenever students have an event, they're not surprised when we come and support them. So people must not misunderstand, whenever they're seeing, a collaboration between students and staff members at Wits. It's because, we are alliance partners. And by the way, our event was not hijacked yesterday. We had a very successful picket as workers of Wits University, which was attended by a big crowd. We have close to 1,000, I think, workers which came out to show that, what we are picketing about, which I will explain, was well supported by staff members. It so happened that we were forced to use the same venue. So it was an automated, amalgamation, of which we welcomed, by the way, because, it's our forces which were there. So we decided, why waste resources? Let's sing one song. Let's dance together, unlike now, we're having, we didn't want to, I don't know if you've been to Avalon, at Soweto, whereby you have a funeral here, then this one must pause and allow this one to sing and then pause, so, that's waste of resources and time. So, us collaborating and moving together, it made sense. Now, the question is, why were the workers of Wits University out in the sun yesterday instead of being in their offices or workstations? The main issue, we're deadlocked with the university on the 2023 salary negotiations. Yes, we have not received our increases for 2023 salary increases. The university is doing something which is strange. The university is ignoring, for the first time, by the way, in 5 years. I've been in the negotiations for over 5 years. And there's always been a principle that we applied whenever we're doing salary negotiations. We take into account CPI. By CPI, we mean the annual average CPI of the previous year. We take that into account. There's a component which is negotiated by organized labor. There's a component which is based on your performance, as a staff member. So that's how we usually, conduct salary negotiations. There was a time where we had a 3-year multi-year agreement with the university to give us 7% salary increase. That 7% was structured in what I just explained. There was a CPI component, there was a component which is negotiated by organized labor, there was a component which is for your performance. This was now 2019, 2020. In 2021, when CPI dropped because of COVID and all that, CPI dropped all the way to 3.5%. When we signed the agreement, CPI was sitting around 5.4%. The investor said, no, comrades, let's talk. CPI has dropped too much. Let's renegotiate the last leg of this 3-year agreement. Which, there was a clause, of course, that, said we should CPI, fall by more than 2%, we must come and negotiate. Then we were forced. We negotiated all the way until November. We only got our salary increase for that year in November. Now, the annual average CPI for 2022 is sitting at 6.9%. It's very high, meaning cost of living is high. I mean, the price you're paying today for bread compared to what you're paying last year, it's shocking. It's almost close to double. Now the university is ignoring things like CPI, things like cost of living, petrol. That has been ignored. You are demanding a 10% salary increase. The university is offering us something way below that. And then we said to the university, but how about as a start, we start by applying our formula, which we've been using for the past, 5 years. CPI, organized labor and your performance leg. That has been ignored, All of a sudden, when it's convenient, that formula is not applicable. So we deadlocked on those bases. We referred the matter to the CCMA. As we speak, on the 16th of March, there will be a showdown between us and Wits management at the CCMA. And when we come back, we'll address the masses how that case went. And we'll be advising everyone, including the media, on what action will follow that after 16 March. Comrades, there's something that's happening at Wits which maybe the students don't know. And we've raised this for the past 4 years as well. When you enter Wits University now, they start from the gate as a staff member, especially if you are driving. Sometimes you feel like you're entering Conca. You feel like you're entering a nightclub. Because you pay to enter. We pay staff members to drive our cars inside campus to come to work. You pay. There's something that's called parking fees. We've been telling the university that we believe that thing is a money-making scam. Why should I pay to enter my place of work? It doesn't make sense. We know, come on, we are very responsible leadership, by the way. We know that there's a cost attached to parking. And we said we want to contribute to that cost. Let's review the parking model. Till today, nothing has been done. Because we know as a union that should we review that, it will reveal that actually we've been scammed. Comrades, we have what we call workers that work at night at Wits. There are workers, I'm sure you've seen cleaners that work in the evening. At 3:30, they knock off. They are being dumped at Park Station. Those women, they are being dumped at Park Station to see how do they get home. The law is clear that, if we are doing night work, number one, must be paid a night work allowance. That the university does pay because we ensure that they do pay. Number two, it says the employer must make sure that there is transport available from your place of work to home. So dumping someone at Park Station doesn't mean you ensure that there is transport to take me home. At 3:30 in the morning. We said to the university, let's sit down and discuss and agree on a collective agreement that will cover, reduction of working hours, especially for those workers from the dining halls who knock off, around 7, the cleaners who work until, 3 a.m. and all that. We went to the CCMA, by the way, we deadlocked on that as well. We have clear university policies, by the way, which we are part of. We are part of the stakeholders that is consulted whenever there's a new policy drafted. Those policies are clear what needs to be done. But we deadlocked because someone decided to misinterpret the police. We went to the CCMA. The commissioner said, no, man, actually, we were offered a chance to go back and draft the collective agreement and agree. But what you don't know, comrades, I'm just a shop steward. But when we get to the CCMA fighting, whether it's a disciplinary case or any dispute, the university sends lawyers to face us. I don't know how many times I've faced lawyers at the CCMA hired by Wits University. And we said to the university, but why are you spending so much on lawyers. I mean, just to face Comrade Tabumudisa, just send one of your people there to face me. No, they hire lawyers, people who advocates who are qualified to come, but we chow them anyway. It's not like just too long. But the fact is, there's so much, wasteful expenditure at Wits. There's a lot of money that's just been wasted, I mean, what the students don't know is that since we have not received our salary increase, what does it mean for a worker? It means the salary you were earning in December and the salary you are earning now from the 1st of January. The one of 2023 is less because medical aid increased. Medical aid doesn't care whether you got your salary increase or not. The same medical aid, which is part of your conditions of service, by the way, you have to have medical aid. It's part of your condition of service. But it's part of your condition of service, but the university does not subsidize your medical aid. You're on your own. So, comrades, it's shocking because the university wants to paint this picture that all is well. And it's clear, I mean, from the student side, that all is not well. And now, as staff members, we decided, it's high time we speak out. When students see us on campus, they think, we soft life things. No, comrades. It's not like, at some point we said to the university, maybe as leadership, the university must take us for counseling because of what we go through. We're dealing with a lot of cases, comrades, on campus. Staff members are being disciplined every day. Staff members are being fired. We get to the CCMA, the university brings lawyers, which is precedent. Is something that must be reviewed seriously. That one, especially the one. I mean, there's so much. Even maintenance at work at Wits. It's high time we review how much Wits is paying on maintenance. That's maintenance, to change a light bulb. Why should we pay 3,000 for that? How much are the private accommodation service providers spending for maintenance compared to what Wits is spending? We need to review that. I mean, I respect the comrade of Forte, the VC, who said there are people that are milking the higher education sector. Government does fund a lot of projects, but where is that money going? It comes into the system, and where is it going? It's high time we check exactly who is chowing here. So there's a lot that needs to be reviewed. It's not just about fees, that financial sustainability we can't afford. It's high time that we check where is the money going in the system. The sooner we save, then the sooner funds can be redirected. Fees can be reviewed, President. Accommodation fees can be reviewed as well. The sooner we start checking where is, because the budget of the university probably will show a picture that the university is paying a lot on salaries and benefits. But that's just the budget, by the way. We always say to the university, as organized labor, we don't want to get too much into the subject of budget because we are not consulted as the unions during that time. Because we know that the actual expenditure is lower compared to what has been budgeted. The university likes to throw around phrases like financial sustainability. And as organized labor said, wait. Which financial sustainability are we talking about? President, I don't know if you've checked for the past 5 years the annual financial statements of Wits University. It's huge surpluses. In 2016, there's something that was stopped. So we tried to fight it as a union, but it was stopped. What is called long service awards. as staff members, if you've served at Wits for a couple of number of years, you used to get like some envelope, to say, I thank you, and a certificate, to say, you've served. Long service awards were stopped in 2016 in the name of financial sustainability, because the university has to put a provision on the financial statement. A provision on the financial statement, the provision is an accounting entry, yes, but it's not like the physical cash that needs to be paid. It's a provision because, in terms of IFRS, there's you have to make that provision. Fine. It's in the name of financial sustainability, but so that the financial statements look well. Now, why the same financial statements, which are showing surpluses, are not being considered when we talk about financial sustainability? Why don't you consider it? For the past 5 years, we've been making surpluses. So the 10% that actually the workers are looking for is actually affordable. What the students are requesting can actually be, if we have to say, okay, fine, let's do break even. Let's try to ensure that our actuals, yes, the budget can be a break even budget. But if your actuals are showing a huge surplus,